So obviously I talked about all my beagles to
Beaks.
come back to the fact that we moved in with Caitlin's parents. And she had 2 cats when I moved in with them, Chelsea Belsie and Chase.
Chasey Poo Rabbit. Yes.
And R.I.P. Chasey.
Yeah,
we love you so much.
Rabbit.
I am not one of those dog people that hates cats. Don't get me wrong. You know, like when cat people are like, oh, I like cats and dogs, and dog people are like, fuck cats.
And they just like slander cats. Yeah.
I am choosy with my cats.
Which I think is fair.
Yeah.
Because not
like,
all
I
cats
don't like all cats.
are
Because
like...
some cats suck.
Really?
But Chelsea, Belsie, and Chase, I really did love.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, Belsie, and Chase did not love Kami.
I've said before, and I will say it and say it again. Kami has dog energy.
We moved in, and I was super offended by this. I was like, "What does dog energy mean?"
Some would say,
and please define it.
Too much
Caitlin.
dog energy.
Define dog energy.
I mean, it's just giving dog person.
Define
like,
dog
I don't...
energy. How you defined it to
Dog...
me? Do you remember?
What?
I remember.
What?
You know how like cat people, when they come around cats, they go.
Yeah, they're like really like
and
soft
dog people
and
are like, "Hey, buddy, how are you?
Come here, like come here."
I was right in the middle apparently, and
Yeah.
she said, "You have dog energy." I was like, "Come here,
come here!" Like shouting, like girl.
Which
like,
I get.
Like you can't like no, but I mean at least you're not like Rocky. Like I think one of the first.
Does Rocky have dog energy?
Well, Rocky grew up with a black lab. Yeah, Marley was a black
Rocky
lab.
has cats too, doesn't she?
No, she's never had cats.
Thanks,
She has
Rocky.
like there's like a stray
Girl,
cat.
you did it.
There's like a stray girl. There's a stray cat that lives like near Rocky's like family's home, and they didn't like take it in, but they're like, you know, friendly with it. So like Rocky I think is a little more like comfortable with cats in general. But like to preface, like the 2 cats, Chelsea and Chase, that I've had since like 2010 or 11 maybe. They're both pretty like skittish, so like other people come around and like they just hide, like they're terrified of anyone that like isn't like me and my parents.
Oh yeah, I would house sit for Caitlin
she
a couple times.
See them
and
at all.
Chelsea, I think at one point, especially once you guys moved to Santa Monica, when I moved here, I came to visit once, and I you guys were on your cruise.
Yeah, when we were on the cruise,
I watched Chelsea. I came to feed her. And,
give her wet food.
And she was like she was kind of like recluse to the closet, and I tried to pull her out at one point. And when we lived together, I never tried to pull her out. I was like, if you want to hang out with me, you want to hang out with me. She came out to cuddle one time in the whole year I lived there. And oh God, I've never been so scared of a cat. She hissed so hard at me from that closet, and I said, I will feed you and I will leave.
Dude, she is
KK.
like feisty. Even now, like the window that she sits by, like sometimes in the living room, our neighbors will walk by, and we have like those old school windows where like you like can pull the pane up, or you can pull the top one like down. So we'll pull the top one down in some of the windows, and then the bottom one up in some of them. But we'll put the bottom one up in that front window. That way she literally sits in the window. So it's like the cutest thing ever. I'll post a picture here. But we have one neighbor, Kristen, who has a cat, and her cat, oh my gosh, we should like say a prayer because her cat Star has like a tumor or something. Like, I don't know, like we're gonna have to say a prayer. I'm sorry. There's like so many like
anything with like pets.
There's like so many little sad moments in this episode, but like, yeah. So I cat sat for Star, and she is like such an angel. I literally love her to death. But Kristen is like trying to get friendly with Chelsea because after I cat sat for Star, she was like, oh, if you ever need
Star boy,
a girl.
Oh,
yeah. And she's like, she's 19, Kami. She's old. And like, no disrespect to Star, but like, she's a raggedy old girl. She's adorable, but she's a raggedy old girl.
I hope to have sex when I'm old. You know,
it's a raggedy old girl. But no, so Kristen, our neighbor, was like, oh yeah, if you like ever need a cat sitter for Chelsea, like let me know, like I got you since you cat sat for Star. And I was like, okay, but like Chelsea's like, she doesn't know you. She's like, not you won't see her, like you'll just go in and give food, and like she probably won't even come out if you leave food. Like she's gonna be scared even if she hears food rattling or the can opening. Like she won't even come out because she doesn't know you. So Kristen will walk by that window sometimes and be like, hi Chelsea, you know, she's a cat person. She's very friendly and like very like soft with her. And like the first like 5 to 10 times that she's done it, like Chelsea will just like full blown go into like not attack mode, but she'll be like in like, you know, like you can tell she's like threatened, and she has the cutest little face, and she's very like innocent and sweet, and she doesn't get like grumpy really. She'll throw tantrums when like she wants to play and I don't play with her, but she's like a sweet cat. Like she's not like violent by any means. But when Kristen started like coming up to the window a lot, she would get like really freaked out.
Attack the screen.
No, she'll hiss. She'll be like fully like bare her teeth, like she's trying to like look scary, and she doesn't do that, girl. So I would like, oh my god, one time she did it to me. I came up to the window and I think I like approached it too fast without giving her the opportunity to like realize that it was me that was approaching.
Good for her.
And she hissed at me, girl. Like she be hissing at everybody at that window.
Into the closet, growth.
Yeah, no, she doesn't at first she was that is growth, honestly, because at first she would just run away and like retreat, like she wouldn't even like defend herself or anything, but now she's just hissing. But there have been like 2 or 3 times now.
Guard cat.
No, literally, that's what we call her. Like she's a little guard kitty. There have been 2 or 3 times now where Kristen comes up to the window and she doesn't hiss at all, and she just like looks at her kind of like,
again, growth, progress.
Yeah, she's so brave. Anyway, long story short, Chelsea Belsey hissed at Kami when she tried to like give her love and attention, you know.
I was trying. But I will say, when I gave her catnip, when she heard that can open, she came out for a hot sec. Yeah. And then as soon as I put it down, she was like, I'll eat this and it's mine, and then I don't want to see you again.
Yeah. And you can leave now.
And I did.
But Rocky has done that. Like, I don't know if it was like when we got those cats or
Rocky girl, that makes me feel so much
but
better.
Rocky, like, it was the funniest thing ever. I just have a vivid memory of Rocky being like on the floor. Like she's like on like the floor on all fours, and I just remember her going like this, like fully going like,
come here,
banging on the floor.
I think I did try that as well once.
I'm being gentle because I don't want to spill this prosecco, but like banging on the floor, like, come here, like she's talking to a dog, and I'm like, dude,
yeah, Rocky and I had the same.
My cat does
trial
not fuck with that. She is gonna run and hide. You are terrifying her right now. Like she hates sound. So no, it was just like really funny. But you and Rocky are giving dog energy. I cannot lie.
I love Chelsea Belsey, and I loved Chase very, very much. But I will tell you right now, your phone is also
I know, I just saw that. It's like dictating.
I will tell you right now, Juju, she had 2 cats. She still has them. But I last time I was at her house, they were away because it was her bridal shower. She has these 2 cats. I don't know what kind they are. I'd have to ask her. But they're like dog cats. Like I did like exactly what you just said, where I was like,
and they came to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're cuddly and they jump up, and I was like,
it just depends
these
on
are my cats.
Yeah, it just depends on the cats, because like my cats are like not, they're like scared of everybody. They're like not friendly, but at least they're not like evil and like attacking you and like have like trauma. Because like cats that have a trauma, they're
I've
like very like
cats like that,
violent and intense, and that is very like difficult to handle. But
yeah,
regardless, I'm a cat person. Kami's a dog person.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I will never have a cat. Let's just like cut to it. I will never ever have a cat. Also, the fact that Ed's allergic, so
yeah,
really never.
That'll do it. But I mean, I'm allergic too, but like it's still like
had cats we also lived when we lived together with her parents. We only had carpet, which we were supposed to have wood floor. Thanks where we lived.
Yeah,
I don't even remember the name of it now. Not that we need to call them out.
Yeah,
but we should.
But yeah,
yeah, they were supposed to give us wood floors, and Caitlin
move-in day there was carpet, and we were like, "What is this shit?"
And I heard her sneeze more than humanly possible.
Yeah, it was gnarly for the
allergies.
Plus
our upstairs neighbors that fucked constantly. It was a great apartment.
Yeah, like your neighbors here.
You've only heard it once. I haven't heard them since.
Yeah, it woke me up at like 4 or 5 a.m. one morning when I was dead sleep. I think that was actually
a healthy sex.
That might have been like during New Year's or like New Year's Day.
They're on the other side as well. They can probably hear this. We love a healthy sex life.
They're loud, and like
I've never actually
at like the crack of dawn too.
The best time.
Crack of
morning
dawn.
Sex.
Yeah.
Do you have a thirst of the week? I'm curious for yours.
I have a thirst of the week. I don't really know if I do. I mean,
I think I have one. I have a couple.
The weather has been great, but like doesn't count as a thirst.
As I have gotten older, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. I was talking to Caitlin about this today. My thirst is for fall. It's just like
Yeah,
living in Southern California, it's not really fall. I get it. But another reason to move to San Diego, it's kind of fall. Especially where I live in Oceanside. And for anybody that lives in San Diego and hears me
it's
say
been like overcast
Oceanside,
in
it's
Santa
not,
Monica too.
I know it's not technically San Diego, but it's San Diego County, so shut the fuck up.
It is. It's fine.
But like it does get colder here. And as I have gotten older, especially living in the valley for as long as we did, and then in Santa Monica, I miss the Pacific Northwest so much, and I miss seasons so much, and I thirst for yellow and green and brown leaves falling on the ground. Like it just doesn't happen here, especially because, you know, palm trees.
Yeah, and I feel
it's
like
just not the same.
Low-key, I feel like I thirst for that because I like never really experienced it.
When Caitlin came to visit Oregon, it was like
May. It was May or June. Yeah.
Like I will say, for anybody that wants to get out of California, summer in Oregon is ideal. But
yeah, it was really nice.
Fall is beautiful. Winter is fucking gorgeous if you ever want to whack Christmas. Spring's really pretty. Like, honestly, I, growing up, took Oregon for granted. I really did. Yeah. I think because I just grew up in this, like, bubble, and I was like, I really want to get out, this and that.
I want to escape.
Another thirst. And I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'm also not. We were talking about books earlier, and I told Caitlin I was going to bring this up.
Oh, yeah?
I finally gave in to the TikTok trend. I had started this book in, like, I don't even fucking remember, like 2018? I don't remember when it came out. 2018, 2019. I had started the first couple chapters, and I was like, this shit is slow. I don't want to read it. And then in, like, last year, it blew up on TikTok, and I know everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's called A Court of Thorn and Roses, ACOTAR. And everyone told me, they were like, yeah, the first book for the first, like, 75% is really slow. You just have to get past that, and then it's going to be the best shit you've ever read.
See, I feel like I need to listen to that on audiobook because it's fiction.
It's on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's all free on Spotify.
But I don't have Spotify Premium.
You can use mine. I don't give a shit. Because, like, genuinely, you should read it.
But yeah, because I don't know if I could sit through that. Low-key, like, read through that.
It's like, so the first book, it's basically like a very, very detailed retelling, and like a better retelling and a better storyline of Beauty and the Beast. And then at the end of the book, everything changes, and everything changes. And the person that you loved throughout the entire first book is not the person you like by the second book at all. The second book, A Court of, I'm going to get this wrong, so I'm not even going to try. The second book, because it's like A Court of Thorn and Roses, A Court of Wings and Ruin. That's not right. I don't fucking know.
Some shit like that.
I have finished the second book. I am almost done with the third. And there are 5, and she just released or like announced that she's coming out with like 5 more or 7 more.
Oh girl, I'm definitely doing audiobook. Forget that.
Like it's a lot.
I ain't reading all that. I got dyslexia.
I finally finished the first book, and I was like, I fucking get it.
You get it now?
I get it.
Okay, wait, can I be so honest?
Go.
When you just said A Court of Thorns and Roses and then you followed it with the word ACOTAR, I thought you're gonna laugh at me right now. You're gonna laugh at me right now. I thought that ACOTAR was like the name of a book. I didn't realize that it was an acronym.
It's an acronym
for A Court of Thorns and Roses.
A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Let me just rewind because on episode because on episode 5 I had Rocky and Emma on, and they were talking about ACOTAR.
You had no idea what they were doing.
Well, they were talking about ACOTAR, but they were talking about something else too. But I thought they were talking about something called ACOTAR. I didn't know that it was an acronym for that. So I'm a little bit embarrassed right now.
So it's A Court of Thorn and Roses is the first book. The second one is A Court of Mist and Fury. A Court of Wings and Ruin is the third one. That's the one I'm almost done with. I have like 3 chapters left. A Court of Frost and Starlight, and then the last one so far is A Court of Silver Flames.
So like, what's your like? So you're just thirsting over that? Do you have any like takeaways so far?
ACOTAR because the first one is A Court
God.
of
Yeah. That's like the series,
they're
essentially.
not
It's like
gonna-
Harry Potter.
Some people that are like
A court
diehards go
of-
like Echo War, I was like, that's too much because
Brother.
I had to just look up the names and I'm currently reading them. I don't fucking remember.
So do you have like a takeaway so far without spoiling?
It's hard not to spoil it, but the second book is the best book you're gonna read.
Okay.
Everyone,
I mean, so far,
I will say,
because you haven't finished all of them.
The main reason that I told you, like, the first book is a little boring. Get through it.
Mm-hmm.
But the last, like, 6 to 7 chapters, so good. So good.
Okay.
And then
I'm looking forward to it.
Everyone told me when I started hearing about this series, they said it's like fairy porn.
Okay, yeah. Em was telling me that it was like Em was telling me that it was
I didn't want to read it because I was like, obviously, like, I'm not opposed to sex. I'm not opposed to like reading sex scenes. I read a lot of Colleen Hoover,
but
which
if like
that's a hot toddy take as well. Because
but like if that's like what it is,
God.
you're kind of like, oh, am I like just getting into like an entire like smut
really honest,
series?
Anybody
like,
that says that it's fairy porn is a fucking prude. Because it's not.
Whoa, that's a hot toddy take, girl.
It's not. It's not.
That
like
is
there are sex scenes and there
take.
is the second book. There's definitely more sex, but it's not the entire book at all.
Maybe we're just like
Even
desensitized.
the third book.
We're probably just desensitized to like things that are sexualized and like that's just normalized for us, and apparently it's not for other people. But that's funny.
But like I've read some like romance novels where it's just like they're filling every hole, you know, and that's not happening in this. That's not a thing. There's definitely sex scenes, but they're like, even during the sex scenes in these books, especially the second and third, they're romantic sex scenes. Like you're never like, I mean, you definitely are feeling it, but like it's not like, oh my God, this is dirty.
Got it. Yeah.
Like they're good sex scenes.
Yeah.
They're written really well. Sarah J. Maas, you did a fucking great job.
Damn, yeah, I gotta get the audiobook because you gave me the book.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna read it. I'm just gonna do the audiobook, honestly.
For the first one,
I feel like for fiction, just in general, like I just have to do an audiobook because
it's on a podcast.
Because then I can like visualize it better.
It's great.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. No, literally when you this won't be a spoiler, but on the third, well, it might be, but when you rang the doorbell, when you came yesterday on Saturday.
Yeah, when I got here. You were reading it?
I was in the middle of reading it and I knew that this character.
That's why you didn't come to the door right away. Because you're like, give me a minute. I'm like finishing a page.
No, genuinely, it's because I couldn't find my key and I was locked in. Yeah, our apartment, like if you don't have a key, when you lock it from the outside, if someone's in the apartment, you're basically locked in unless there's a key in the door.
You also have to unlock it from the inside. Which I don't know.
I mean, like
it's like fine.
I'll take it, but like
that's what it is.
I'm really bad at losing my keys, so I get locked in a lot.
Yeah, you're like
But right as you rang the doorbell, I knew that this character died, and I was kind of waiting for it.
Oh no!
He gets brought back,
died.
But he died right as you rang the doorbell, and I was like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that right there."
Sorry to interrupt.
And so then I literally, it was the end of the chapter. I read the last sentence. I shut the book, and I was like, I'll figure out what happens in a second.
Like, damn.
And yeah, he went and opened the door. I highly recommend the books for anybody that like just wants to get away from.
That has heard the wreck and is like wondering if they should do it or not.
Yeah, I know. Like, I think a lot of things on TikTok that come up, I'm like, I feel like it's overhyped, which a lot of things are.
Well, yeah, that's social
media. But
I feel like that's everything.
This one, some people aren't going to like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the spokesperson for every human ever. But if you already like some fiction and you like not porn, but like, you know, romantic
little
scenes,
smut, little playful smut,
go for it.
Pinch of smut.
Yeah. There was one scene in the third book that I read recently and I shed a tear the other night when I was reading it. It was pretty good.
Okay, well you've just convinced me. I'm gonna get the audiobook this week and start it.
You have to. It is
that
really
way
good.
I can
I even convinced Myra. My only other thirst, just because I think everyone should listen to it. We talked about it. Is the Sabrina Carpenter album.
Yeah, I mean,
Short and Sweet is
10
so
out of 10.
fucking good. We talked about it a little bit today. Where like she's just bringing back the like 90s 2000 pop like vibe that I feel like
the cheeky pop
music has been missing.
But it's like tasteful. I feel like it's like not corny, because I feel like a lot of people try to do that like cheeky, clever like pop lyrics, and it just like doesn't work. It doesn't add up, and the math isn't mathing. It's just kind of like, it's just like corny. But I feel like somehow she pulls it off, and like I can appreciate it.
When we were at dinner earlier tonight, I had a full rant about how much I dislike Taylor Swift, and so.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't even compare the two, like, lyrically.
No,
if you're like,
not at all.
If you're gonna go there and like talk about like pop
just, like,
lyrics
music
or like clever lyrics, just like very different. But yeah, no, I love it. I feel like one of my new thirsts is now Banana Dang, and I wish that they had a location in LA, because that latte was so good. We went to this place today.
I actually found out about this place. Like, it's down the street from our apartment, and when we walked by it, I started making fun of the name. I was like, what the fuck is Banana Dang? Like, it's probably a coffee shop, but like it could be something else.
Interesting.
It could be a clothing shop.
Yeah.
And Ed delivered food to somebody from Banana Dang. And he was like, this girl gets Banana Dang every single Friday, and I've become like her.
It's like a regular
set driver. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'll go try it. I'll go try it, because anything banana and coffee. There was a place in Encino when we were in college. Coral Tree Cafe.
Yeah, Coral Tree.
Coral Tree.
They had like a banana smoothie, a smoothie.
They had a banana latte that I was.
Oh, you're right.
It was
they
blended.
did.
That I was obsessed.
I forgot they had that there.
Anything banana coffee, I'll take to my fucking grave. Like, I also, I have a protein powder that I'll take after the gym. That's like a mocha flavor. It's vegan.
You add banana.
And I'll put in my cold brew and a frozen banana.
Oof, girl.
And it's the best thing I've ever had.
That sounds amazing. See, I'm like
with like an almond milk.
I'm so indifferent to bananas. I do like banana bread, but like as far as like eating bananas go,
I'm not to like eat a banana by itself.
Well, I've even talked about this on the podcast, that I'm kind of like, I feel like bananas are just like lazy, like convenient, like fruits. And I feel like they don't actually taste that good, but people just eat them because they're like very like easy to eat. They come in their own packaging. You can eat it and like not have to wash your hands after, as opposed to like an orange. Like, I will choose a banana over an orange, not because I like bananas better, because who likes the taste of bananas more than the taste of oranges? Like, obviously no one, but like, because I don't have to get my hands covered in juice, like it's not like messy and it's easy. And so I'm like whatever about bananas, and I've talked about that before, but like I like banana bread. But banana like flavored things, I'm like usually not a fan of like at all. But she took me today to get Banana Dang, and we just got like the banana latte, and I was really scared that it was gonna be like
not just
super
get the banana latte. They have this avocado toast. They have several flavors, and they have one
I was also a little bit scared about.
Banana Fire. If you ever go to the Banana Dang in Oceanside,
it was really good.
And you like spicy. It's not like overly spicy, but the more you eat it adds up.
The perfect amount.
Yeah. It's basically, they make their own sourdough, and this shit's thick. Like, it's a thick piece of sourdough. She told me she had just made a fresh loaf of rosemary sourdough. They spread avocado. They put pieces of banana, which you think would taste weird,
which is a weird,
sweetness.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, controversial kind of thing.
Add over, like, think from Trader Joe's.
I feel like it's like caramelized though to the bread.
Yes.
Yeah, like honey or something.
They toast it.
Bruh.
And then imagine if you've been to Trader Joe's, the
chili oil,
but like the onion crunch.
Yeah. It's
so
like
it has like that kind of flavor.
It's crunchy.
They spread that all across. It's one of the best things I've ever had.
No, I was really nervous because I was like, bananas on avocado toast, like that sounds.
No, I was the same way. I was like,
horrid. But no, the latte was really good, and it like wasn't too sweet. It was amazing, and then the toast was like crazy. It was like game changing. So I feel like that is like kind of my thirst. So and that's like as of this morning, literally. Okay, do we want to talk about students?
I have so many.
I feel like we should just dive into that real quick. Let me see.
I think you should start the segment since you still work there.
Tiny backstory. I work at a music school in the Valley in LA. I've worked there since like 2018. Kami worked there for a brief time. So that's where these stories are going to be coming from.
9 months total.
So, yeah. So whenever I talk about my student quotes, they're from this experience. It's private music lessons. So like I teach voice, piano, guitar, like separately. It depends on like the kid. Some ukulele, but like ukulele is not that popular. So that's what I did. Kami was there teaching voice, piano, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. For 9 months. Is that what you said?
9 months.
So she has some interesting stories from those 9 months.
Not because I didn't love my students, but I found another job and it was just like the right timing to move. And, other reasons.
It was time. It was time.
Other reasons. But yeah, I found the right job. I'm still in that job. I really love what I do. One of my first stories, my second story involves Caitlin, and it's one of my favorite things that I ever experienced.
I don't remember. I don't know what she's going to talk about. I'm scared.
Yeah, she asked me, and I was like, I'm not going to tell you, so you can be surprised on camera.
I know.
One of my favorite stories, I had a student, I adored her, and I will be honest, I was much better at teaching voice than I was piano. I obviously know how to play piano, but for the first like 2 months, just because it had been so long since I had really like sat down at a piano, like I could teach chords up the wazoo. I could teach them the music theory, but some of the songs for some of the older students, and like my age range was 5 to 25. Granted, most of my students were 5.
Yeah, young.
I think the oldest student I had was 13, and he was on Zoom, and I don't think I've still ever seen his face. I'm going to be really honest. I don't think I've still ever seen his face.
Dude.
And he would only play video game music.
Love that. I mean, hey, there's a lot of good video game music out there.
He killed the video game music. I can't lie. But I had this one student. She was 11, and she would come in, and for the first like 5 minutes, she would just talk about her day. She was my favorite people in the world. And I could tell my very first lesson with her, she was trying to get a read on me. And she was Indian, and her parents were very strict. I only met them once. And I could tell that like she wanted to do piano, but she was also kind of being forced to be there. Because she would miss lessons sometimes because she needed to finish homework. She would tell me the next week, she was like, if I didn't get an A on something, they'd make me work on my homework extra hard, and I had to miss piano, and I wanted to be here with you.
Yeah.
My very first lesson with her, she sat down very confidently. She turns to me and she goes, "Can I ask you a question?" I was like, "Of course you can." She goes, "Are you a homophobe?" And I was like,
"Whoa,
no."
I do remember you telling me this,
No,
but I forgot.
I'm
That's
not.
crazy.
I actually, my best friend is gay. And she goes, "Good, you can teach me then."
She just had to put it out there. She's
and
like,
I was
"Girl,
like, you're already my favorite person.
We do not tolerate the homophobia.
Already my favorite
here."
person. I love that.
That's so funny.
And my
I
very
forgot that happened.
last lesson with her, she was really sad that I was leaving. She told me she had started dating a girl, and I was like, "I love that for you."
T, I've had a student come out to me too.
I love that for you.
It's like the cutest thing ever.
But as much as that was a great story, my favorite.
I'm scared. I don't remember what you're talking about.
So I got very lucky. Caitlin did give me a word of rec when I got the job. And somehow, if being separated in seats from college wasn't enough because we weren't allowed to sit together, we had rooms right next to each other.
Yeah.
So I could hear some of her lessons. And you'd think that in a music studio that they should be soundproof. They're not.
Yeah, you can hear everything.
They're enough, but like
no, you can hear
not.
everything from the lessons like next to you.
And a lot of the nights, Caitlin had one student.
I know where you're going with this.
She had one student.
I know
I think
exactly.
on Mondays.
I know. I have him to this day. It's every Monday and every Thursday.
Yes,
2 days a week.
On Mondays, I was there at the same time, and I would finish my lesson at 7:45. This was my video game student that would play video game piano, and he would start at 7:15, and so we'd go to 7:15 to 7:45, and you'd finish at 8. And so I would sit there for the last 15 minutes and wait for Caitlin to finish. And then we'd walk out of the parking lot together. And one of my very first times waiting for her, she has this student, and she had told me about him. He's very structured. He likes the way that he ends his lessons, and he has to end it like a very specific way.
Yeah, he's on the spectrum, and he has like a very set, like, we have a routine for the end of every lesson. Let's just put it in that way.
That morning, Caitlin had already told me she was really tired. We went to get coffee because it was my first day, and she was like,
I was exhausted.
I know this day is going to be long. And how she likes to end her lessons with the students, he likes to play peekaboo.
Yeah. He loves peekaboo. It's like his favorite thing ever.
Very patient with her students. She is a fucking angel. And so I knew what to expect. I was like expecting to hear her say peekaboo to this guy.
Yeah, I told her before. I was like, by the way, my last student does peekaboo. So that's how I end my Mondays and Thursdays.
Through the wall. He is obviously like not focused, not doing something. And like she's trying to play I could hear her go peekaboo, peekaboo, peekaboo. And he's not answering. And she goes, peekaboo or bye. Really loudly into the microphone. And he goes, oh, okay. Peekaboo. And then she hangs up. And honestly, I couldn't have had a better first day at Mozart.
I don't want you guys to think that I just hung up on this student for like no reason over Zoom.
No, it was a while that she really tried it. It was probably 8:05.
No, I know. We end our 30-minute lesson and then he wants to play peekaboo after. So I'm like, okay, I only have a few minutes because our time is up right now. So let's play peekaboo, you know? So it was like one of those things where it's like, I have to have some sort of boundary with him because I'm like, dude, I have to go home and eat dinner. And sometimes I'm like, I need to go home and eat dinner. Like I need to go home. Like I have to drive home. I don't live like around the corner, you know, I like commute. So I think it was just like one of those days. And like I had him as a student for a long time already. And we've gotten really close. And like I'm close with his mom and stuff too. And he's a sweetheart. And like the mom's very sweet. But it sometimes there are lessons where like he wants to just keep going. And I'm like, he's like, 3 more. And I'm like, no, 2 more. And he's like, 3 more. And I'm like, okay, 3 more. And then we do 3 and he's like, okay, 2 more. And I'm like, no. So it had gotten to that point and I was like, peekaboo or bye. Like,
but she yelled it. I could hear this shit through the wall.
Like, I need to leave.
And I'm shocked she couldn't hear me. Like I fell on the floor laughing in the room next to her. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I do remember that. It was really funny. But no, there are still some instances even now where I'm like, okay, are we going to play peekaboo or not? Because we're wasting time and I'm off the clock now. So let's also get this done.
For anybody that has listened to like real OG episodes of Zesty Thoughts, the episode that Caitlin talked about the student that said, when she said
your body.
Yeah. When she said, what do you want? And he said, your body.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
I had dinner with her right after that lesson. And she told me we were at a Mexican restaurant.
It was a bad one.
And our waiter came over at a real inopportune time, right as she said, your body. And his eyes were like,
he was like, what are you talking about? I'll give y'all some space.
It was so funny. I think our waiter thought that she was hitting on me. And I was like, nope, that's not what we're talking about. It was great. I loved it.
Oh my gosh. No, it was insane. Those are some really good ones.
I loved my time at Mozart. Honestly, my last day, I've never cried so much. I had like a couple students. I told Caitlin today, we were talking about one of my students. It was, John Legend's guitarist's daughter, who was like the sweetest little girl in the world. She has a children's book. I'll link it.
Stop.
It's so cute.
That's so cute.
It's a children's book, and we would sing like Beyonce, and I would teach her how to do runs and all this stuff, and my very last lesson, I obviously had to tell her like, my last day with you.
I'm leaving.
And she turns to me with the straightest face and she goes, I'm never going to be happy again. And I was like, don't say that. And she goes, no,
That's
I'm never going to smile again."
crazy.
And then she walked out of the room.
That is so dark,
I was
bro.
like, no, please don't say that.
That's so dark.
No.
She just added fuel to the fire.
Honestly, it was that. And then there was one student I had never met her in person. Still to this day. I had her over Zoom. And at the very end of the lesson, like she knew at the beginning of the lesson that was my last because her mom had given her pre-warning.
Yeah.
At the end of the lesson, she played her last note and she broke into a full sob. Like, I
couldn't handle that.
I started crying.
I could not handle that.
I started crying. We were just like crying at each other. She was 9.
Oh, stop.
She was the sweetest little girl. I was teaching her piano, and she just like played her last note. She started crying. Dude. I started crying because I'm an emotional person. Caitlin knows this better than anything. I can cry at fucking
everything.
Anything and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, she started.
That would
sobbing,
get me, dude.
And the mom had to come in and hug her, which made it worse because I was still on video, and she was like, I'm never gonna see you again. And I was like, no, please don't say that. Please don't say that. Please don't say that. And then her mom was like,
that's rough.
Can we get your cell phone number? And I was like, of course you can. And she was like, maybe she'll want to text you and just say hi.
Oh, just to keep in touch because she's sad.
Stop. Yeah, she was so cute. I loved her.
Poor thing.
I also had one student that I absolutely hated. Her mom would give her candy right before every single lesson. She was like 6. And the worst lesson I ever had with her, her mom gave her like a licorice snow cone. So her entire mouth was black, including her tongue. And she came into a lesson.
I didn't think it was going to be black.
And she tried to put it in my face.
I would assumed it would be red.
Entire lesson. I think she tried to lick my cheek at one point. And
Girl.
I don't think she learned a single ounce of piano in the 4 months that we had together because
it's hard with the little ones, dude.
She was like 6. To be fair, I had a 4-year-old that was probably better at piano than me.
I had a 3.5.
I
had a 3.5-year-old like a year and a half ago. Now I have another 3.5-year-old, and like both of them are amazing.
You just never know with the
just
kid.
Depends.
It really does depend on the parent.
Yeah,
it really does.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Teaching's crazy, y'all. It's like so.
I do miss it.
Such an interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I ever leave, it'll be like impossible.
I'm about to start giving my mom voice lessons, which is gonna be a whole ass feat.
Wait. Yeah. I can't wait to hear more about that. That's crazy.
I gave her one 2 weeks ago, and it was an hour and a half.
Damn, girl. You gotta set a timer.
Yeah, it was too long. But it was like right before she had an audition, and
so audition prep.
She like cried after, and she was like, "I hope my voice teacher."
Maybe we can cut this out. We can cut this out.
No, my mom can hear it, but like my voice teacher back home, I adore. Don't get me wrong, but like my mom had a voice lesson with her on Thursday, and on Friday she was like, "I feel even worse about this audition. I don't know what to do. Can you please help me?" And I spent an hour and a half with her, and she called me after. She just like called me after on a phone call, and she was like, "I feel so much better now. Like I've been with this voice teacher for so many years, and I don't know like how you're doing what you're doing and not teaching voice." And I was like, that's very nice, Mom.
That's cute.
But you're also my mom.
She probably felt very validated because because you're like talented, and
because
she knows,
also we spent the money on my vocal education.
Yeah, so like I would hope that
money well
she would hope that the lesson would be good and that you'd be able to pass on the knowledge that you got. Yeah. But that's cute. That's sweet. You're able to like get her into a better headspace.
Yeah,
that's so important. Sometimes
to
that's
put,
half
like,
of it.
A flyer up at like a Boys and Girls Club down the street. It's like, I don't think I should teach piano to kids. Like I
it's
can't.
Hard. It's very different.
I could teach chords, but like any student can learn chords. You learn it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I think I have something to give to teaching voice.
Yeah, same. That's how I feel like I'm more connected to it because I'm a singer. between worst singers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Kami's like also a singer. Yeah. We didn't
that?
really say
I
that
was.
earlier.
Yeah.
Kami's a singer.
No, I was originally vocal performance. I obviously graduated.
Oh, we did say that.
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, we did.
And then
that.
I graduated with music industry, same. And then I hadn't really sang since then, except for June this year when I went to Italy.
Oh yeah,
That's about it.
Yeah,
My
that was cool.
Speaking of my mother, my mom's choir. She sings in a choir and band. It's Central Oregon Master Singers. They got invited to sing at the Basilica in Italy, like
So
St.
cool.
Peter's Basilica, and like 2 other churches in Sorrento.
So cool.
And with an Italian choir in Rome while we were there. And I can't even lie. If you're ever going to go to Italy, don't fucking go in the summer. It's so fucking hot.
It's brutal. I've been there twice. I went there June and July. It's horrible.
It's not
so
worth
humid.
It. It's genuinely not worth it.
It's like Miami. It's insane. It's almost worse.
Oh, it's beautiful. And the entire time you're just like, don't think about the heat. You're in the best place on earth. Like, please don't.
Literally.
But you can't not think about it. It's so hot. Especially when you're singing in old ass churches that have no AC.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sang in a church in Sorrento on Friday, and I had never been out of the country, really. I'd been to Mexico City once for like a day. But yeah, this was like my first time really going abroad, and I'm Italian. I was very excited. I sang with this same choir 2 years before at Carnegie Hall. And we did Brahms, and so they invited me back because they needed another soprano, and I was like, Italy, I'm fucking down. We sang at like St. Peter's Basilica at the 6 p.m. mass with like a priest and everything, and like it was insane. And it was so pretty. I can send Caitlin the photo that I got while we were there. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, you should.
And then I can't even lie. I don't know if I told you this. We had the friendship concert on Tuesday. We were there from Wednesday the week before to Tuesday the week after. And on Tuesday, that night before, or Monday, we had a concert at a church there, and an Italian choir sang with us. And I should have known when we got the message from them that they were like, we really want to sing one song with you. And we were like, okay. So we sent them a bunch of our repertoire because we were singing a bunch of songs in Italian. And they were like, yeah, a lot of your music is actually really out of our like talent range. Like it's a little too hard for us. So I would have assumed that our conductor would have been like, maybe this choir is not very good. Because
that could have been the red flag.
None of our music was very like super difficult. It wasn't like easy, but it wasn't crazy difficult, especially for a choir that speaks Italian.
Yeah.
So they were like, but we have this song that we sing. Would you like to sing it with us? And we were like, what is it? And it's Can't Help Falling in Love with You by Elvis Presley.
They did not sing that.
And during the friendship concert, they went first. And they were so fucking bad. They were so bad. And it was, I am really bad at hiding my facial expressions.
Girl, same.
Thank God I am tall. Thank God I am tall. I was in the back. I do not have that
poker face.
No, it's fine. It happens. Handmaid's Tale, you knocked it down.
I've been like tapping this wall.
My little bookshelf right here.
I'm gonna put it back.
But yeah, they were not great, and so then they came up on stage with us at the very end of our set after them, and you could tell when they went and sat in the audience when we started singing, their jaws were like,
they're impressed.
Oh, fuck. Oh, and then they came and sang Can't Help Falling in Love with You, which like hard to fuck up.
Yeah.
It was like a 3-part.
Easy arrangement.
Song. Yeah.
That's cool.
Bad. And my mom was so excited because at one point she had one of the Italian women next to her because my mom's an alto. And she, right at the end of the last chorus, she threw her arm around one of them and we all like started swaying. It was cute.
That's cute.
So, like, it was a great experience overall.
That's adorable.
But they couldn't sing.
Damn, that's brutal. I have a friend from Italy
nice.
And he can sing.
I know. I wanted to meet him.
He can sing. I just was like, you should hop up with them, Emmanuel. Like,
I wanted to meet him.
Yeah, and he can sing. Like
he's in Rome, wasn't he?
Yeah, he lives in Rome. He's like into Whitney and like power ballads. Like that's his like wheelhouse is like power ballads. So he could have fucked up that song. Like he could have like killed with y'all. He could have hopped in and shown him what's business. But
next time I go without my mother.
I know y'all gotta get like espresso together.
I do really.
That's all we had time to do when I saw him last. I was like, I'm busy. We were already checked out of our Airbnb in Rome, which was in like the coolest spot ever. But like we were driving up to Assisi. Like we had our rental car already. We picked it up and we drove back to like where he was by his work and just got a quick espresso and like talked for a few minutes.
I'll be honest. As I'm getting older, obviously I'm in a relationship of like 4.5 years. I love Edward so much, but like he couldn't come to Italy with us. He was going to originally, but it's expensive. We could not afford for both of us to go, and so he didn't come. And Ed lived in Italy for 8 months, so he had already kind of experienced a little bit of Italy. And so I was kind of excited for him not to come in a way, just so like. Obviously, he could have been a great tour guide, but I could find things that I really loved about it. And then when we went back together, we could show each other different
Have your own experience,
And in that same semblance, because that was my first time out of the country, and it's still not his. He's been several places. I think especially as I'm getting older, I really want to travel by myself. Like, genuinely alone.
Yeah.
And just, like, see how it is. I want to... Granted, I could run into people along the way.
And meet friends and stuff that live
or
that live internationally.
Italy, apparently, we have like a fuck ton of family.
Yeah,
down there.
You got to just go see the family.
The castle doesn't exist anymore, but whatever.
Tea. But that's why I want to go to Ireland and just like spend a summer there because
I want to go to Ireland with Caitlin so fucking bad.
Because I have family, I can just I could just crash on people's. I could just couch surf low key.
Yeah, just like make friends abroad with family and just go from there. I want to travel with Ed, obviously, but I would also love to just like have some time to just figure it out for myself. Yeah, I think even in a relationship,
you can still do that.
Is really important as well.
Yeah, you can still go on your little adventures. Yeah. But it's tough though because you like want to adventure with your person. Like, I get that. It's like now when I think of like vacations and things like that, like I think of doing things like that with my partner. It's not like I want to do all those things with them.
One of my favorite days when I was in Italy, granted again with my mom, was after we performed at the Basilica on Sunday. On Monday, before we had our concert at night, during that day, they had a tour set of St. Peter's Basilica. And I was like, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, but I was just in it and just performed in it. I haven't had a single day.
Like, I just want to chill
by myself.
Yeah.
And so I went, my mom wanted to get a bunch of like trinkets for people while we were gone. I also think I have your present. Did I ever give it to you?
I don't know. What is it? I don't remember. Did you?
It's in Oregon. That's why.
You left it there.
I'll give it to you eventually.
No biggie. No
but
rush,
I did get you something and I was like, did I give it to you or not?
That's hilarious. You left it there.
But but no, like what was I saying?
You wanted a day alone.
I wanted a day alone. So I told my mom, if this sheds any light on traveling with a parent or traveling with like an over worrisome parent, Sunday night we performed. We all went up to the rooftop, a bunch of the singers and my mom and I. And I was telling everybody, they were like, "Are you excited for the tour tomorrow?" And I was like, "I actually think I'm gonna stay behind and like have a day by myself, and like I'll sleep in a little." Because also we were packed to the hilt with tours. We were waking up so early in the morning, and I was like, "I'm gonna sleep in for at least an extra hour, and then I'm gonna go just explore by myself. Like I'm excited for it,
as you should."
And my mom, in front of everybody, was like, "You're a big girl. You can do that. Go for it." And because she wanted to do the tour, and I was like, "Okay, great. Thanks. I'm so glad you're gonna let me do that." That night that morning.
She probably freaked out,
at 3 a.m. I'm dead asleep. My mom was crying so hard in her sleep that it woke me up.
But why was she crying? Because she was like nervous.
I woke up and I turned to her and I said, "What is going on?" And she goes, "If you go by yourself tomorrow, you're going to get kidnapped. It's going to be like the movie Taken. And I don't think you should go." And I was like, "Mom, it's summer in Rome. There are going to be 1 million people around me. And
yeah, I mean, like,
I'm only going to be gone by a couple hours.
In a, like, I get the fear, like, you're in a foreign country.
1,000%.
You're a woman.
She's my mom.
By yourself.
She's allowed to worry.
And it's like, I feel like low-key, I don't know if it's like messed up. I feel like low-key summer is probably like a better time for like,
because there's so many people.
Or not a better. It's like the worst time for crime probably because there's so many people that like it, like I feel like you could like just slip through the cracks. Like,
but while we were,
sorry, that's like super dark, but like, do you know what I mean?
Oh no, 1,000%.
And think about did you watch that documentary?
Yeah.
The one on Netflix?
Yes, I did.
Anyway, but yeah, so obviously that was like, girl, chill. I'm still going to go out and do my thing. I'm sorry that you're scared.
While we performed at Carnegie 2 years before, we ate in the hotel. We were there for 4 nights. We ate 3 out of the 4 nights in the hotel. Actually, pretty much every single meal except for one, because I had bought Broadway tickets for my mother because she'd never been to a Broadway show. And so I surprised her and we went to a restaurant because we had to leave. And when we got back to the hotel that night, she goes, "I'm really glad we didn't get shot." And I said, "What?"
Bruh.
We were staying in Times Square. And I said, "What?" And
what a crazy thing to say.
She goes, we were in our hotel room in the bed. She didn't say this right away. We were watching like CSI something on TV because we were about to go to bed. And she goes, "When we went outside, I'm really glad we didn't get shot." And I was like, "Excuse me?"
Because she's watching CSI.
"The last time that I was in New York, that's how it was."
Wait,
she hadn't been in New York since like she was like 13 in like the 80s.
Oh my god! It's like, wait, but I was like, still, like, just Mom, automatic.
No one walks outside and just gets shot in New York anymore in the middle of the day.
It's not even. Yeah, it's not even that. It's just
also
like
even in the middle of the night.
That
like,
could happen.
In a crowded place.
That could happen.
I mean, I guess
anywhere.
They do, but
like that could happen literally anywhere nowadays, dude. Yeah. Like, what are you gonna just?
So when I said my mom is afraid of dirt,
paranoid,
I meant it,
dude.
I love her so much, and I appreciate her worry. I hope she never stops worrying.
Yeah, that's a mom's job.
But
that is a mom's job for sure.
I did go out solo on that day,
as you should,
and I walked from our hotel because I was gonna take the bus. I knew very, very simple Italian. I could speak it just enough. So to sum it all up, I had my alone day in Italy. Best day I've had. And I walked. So we were staying just outside of Rome. Probably like a 20 minute drive.
Maybe from like the city center.
15-minute. Yeah, from city center.
Oh, okay.
From city center.
I
like
see.
15 minutes. And so I tried to go take a bus. I could not figure out which bus was going which way because like I prepared in Italian, but I prepared like hello, goodbye, okay.
Yeah. Did you have the Google Translate like
but coffee?
Did you have the Google Translate camera downloaded?
So
like
that
on the
was
app
the
where you can like
other issue.
You could take pictures
while I was there. I told my mom a month before we went.
Yeah.
That we should contact Verizon so that we could get like
actual service. Yeah.
we could only use our phones with Wi-Fi because my mom told me no. So I could only use my phone with Wi-Fi, doing literally anything.
I have AT&T, so it's different, but like they charge you $10 a day international. But that's AT&T, so I don't know how like Verizon works. Maybe like it doesn't work if you don't tell them ahead of time.
Correct. So we were on airplane mode. Dude. Unless we had Wi-Fi the entire week that we were there.
That's hard, low key, when you're international.
I kept trying to like, I at one point took it off and I was like, I'm just going to use data for a little bit and see how much it costs to try and figure out this bus schedule. And it was so complicated from where I was because there were like, I was on a street that had where it was 2 different ways and then it like split off. I was also on 2 different Y streets and I was like, this is just too complicated from where I was. Yeah, and it was all in Italian, and the guy at the bus stop that was trying to help me spoke no English. And I was like, that's totally fair. You live in Italy.
I'm screwed.
I can't even fucking blame you.
You're like, I help.
Yeah. And so
I need help.
I went into a shop, like a shop. I saw a croissant in the window and I was like, I'm just going to sit there because I knew that if it was a cafe, they'd have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Every single cafe in Italy has Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And so I sat there and there were these 2 old men that they spoke very minimal English. They were the sweetest in the world. And I sat outside and I was like, can I just get like this was also like 10 a.m. And they were like, do you want anything? And I was like, can I just get like a soda or something? Like, I said I had a coffee already in my hand because I had stopped somewhere. And so I was like, I don't want to get another coffee. And they were like, you want Aperol Spritz? And I was like, sure. It's 10 in the morning.
Damn.
I'm in Italy. Fucking give me an Aperol Spritz. And the Wi-Fi was not super strong. So I went and sat inside with them. And they were talking to me for forever. And honestly, if I ever go back to Rome, I have to go back to them because they were so sweet. And they kept like I said, I knew just enough Italian to be conversational with them. And they were like impressed because I like was able to order the chocolate croissant that they had. And like, I'm not going to do it on this podcast because y'all probably will roast me because they were being nice. But yeah, it was like a very good experience. I was able to order a Lyft from there. Yeah. And I just sent it straight to St. Peter's and then walked from there. And I didn't realize because the day before we had the tour of like the Trevi Fountain and the Parthenon and all of that, like everything that area. St. Peter's is on the other side of the river.
Yeah, you gotta walk.
I didn't realize that.
It's a hike in that area.
I got dropped off at St. Peter's and I was like, I'm not ordering another Lyft. So I walked all the way over there in a skirt.
Oh my god. What shoes were you wearing? Because that's the real question.
I had on Birkenstocks.
Ooh.
It was fun. Yeah, I had on Birkenstocks.
I feel it was like comfortable. I feel like it wasn't uncomfortable.
It was for the first 2 miles. The last half mile, my legs hurt and my feet hurt. Yeah. I did stop at a certain point at a restaurant and got a caprese salad. And the waiter was like, if you give me your number, I won't charge you. And I was like, no, I'm thinking about it.
Just charge me. It's like,
but totally you're like fine. 45.
You can just charge me.
I appreciate it.
I'll pay.
And my mom, like I said, wanted trinkets. I have a list on my phone.
Oh, no.
Because my mom does not travel. I have a list on my phone of everything that she said that was like a little naive or something that like, I was like,
quotes.
Did that just come out of your mouth kind of thing? And it's the funniest list I have. There are 25 things. We were gone for 6 days. Like I said to you, how we could only use our phones with Wi-Fi. My mom did not understand how that worked.
Oh no.
So
As
she kept
parents
getting
do.
really, really confused when she couldn't text my dad when we didn't have
Oh
Wi-Fi.
no.
And so she didn't understand airplane mode when we were on the plane. And she was like, why can't I text him? And I was like, you're on airplane mode. She goes, I don't know what that is. And I was like, well, you put it on. And she was like, I still don't know what that is. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, Judy.
It's airplane mode. You don't have service. That's it.
And then we would get back to the hotel and like the Wi-Fi wouldn't kick in immediately.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, why can't I text your father? And I was like, give it a second. Also, maybe reconnect to the Wi-Fi because sometimes when you leave, you have to reconnect.
Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi?
The Wi-Fi. Also, I feel like the Wi-Fi in at least the Wi-Fi for me in Italy was like not very good. Like
It's not great.
The one that they had, because they had Wi-Fi in our Airbnb, but it wasn't very strong. It was kind of
my favorite thing on the way over there on the plane. One of the trinkets my mom wanted to get for a bunch of her friends. She turned to me at one point and she goes, Lori really wants a cello. And I was like, the musical instrument.
A cello?
She wants you to bring back a cello?
A whole ass cello.
Just wait.
Interesting.
And I said exactly that. I
like
said,
a miniature
the
cello?
musical instrument? And she goes, it's like, I think it's a drink. And I said, limoncello? And she goes, that's it. And that was the shortened version of that conversation because that went back and forth for at least 15 minutes of her being like, no, she wants a cello. I know that's what she said. And I was like, Lori has wine like statues all over her house. I fucking bet you it's limoncello.
I'll bet
and
you
it
money
was.
right now.
And it was.
That's hilarious. Dude.
My favorite the first interaction. So our first day when we had our tours. I'm so shocked we haven't talked about this yet.
We're catching up now.
First had our tours. And this is a thing in America, which was why it was so funny to me. Because my parents just eat at like sports pubs or like, they don't eat at fancy restaurants. So our first tour, the first day, was to Positano and Amalfi. We stop in Positano, which is beautiful, which is also where your gift is from. I'll give it to you eventually. And we were late waking up because it was our first day, and we were late by like a little bit, and we ran down to breakfast, and we both grabbed like a hard-boiled egg to just eat on the bus, just because we were about to get on and we were going to eat in Positano. My mom eats like a baby bird at home and just all the time. We get to Positano. She is eating her hard-boiled egg, and as soon as we get there, I was like, do you want to grab breakfast? Like, we get coffee and split something. And she goes, I'm full. And I said, we're in fucking Positano.
You're what?
Make some room. You're kidding.
You had
not one hard-boiled egg.
No, that's crazy. I'm
Shut
sorry.
up.
That's insane.
And so I made her sit down at a restaurant. And the waiter comes over. And he goes, still or sparkling? And my mom didn't know what that meant for water. She goes, I don't know what that is. And I go, bubbles or no bubbles? And she goes, oh, no bubbles. And the waiter literally laughed out loud.
I would too.
That's a
hysterical.
Very common question in America.
Here, yeah, they ask that everywhere.
Like my mom has never had
Still
sparkling
or
water.
sparkling? Bro, that's so funny.
It was insane. Going back to the limoncello comment, my friend wanted a cello, the musical instrument. We finally walked into a store, and my mom walks up to a bottle of limoncello that is a full penis with balls and the veins in it.
No, the glass?
She didn't even notice. She goes, do you think she'd like this one? And I go, Mom, that's an erect penis. And she goes, oh my God, I didn't even notice. Do you think she'd like it?
Judy.
I was like, It's a little too veiny for her. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
She almost bought this.
Mom, no. Bro. I kind of wish she did. That's
No.
hysterical. Oh my God, dude.
Let's see. The last one I'll say. And this was why traveling with her was really hard. Also, just traveling with your parents. This is a PSA for everybody. Because most of your parents that have an iPhone probably take a while to open their camera when they're taking a photo. Or to just find where the photo app they have in their phone is. Because they've placed it in the wrong spot.
Shortcut on the front page.
We were in the Coliseum. This had already happened several times. But the Coliseum was the worst of it. Luckily, we were in tours that had the earpieces, and our tour guide, she could hear us.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't find her, but she could hear us. She takes a good 2 seconds to take a photo, which is a lot. Like, that's not fast. Maybe 5 to just find the camera app and then take the photo, not make it blurry, take it, and then walk. That's how Judy takes photos. We were in the Coliseum. We're on the second level. I turn around. She's taking a photo. I said, okay, she's right there. And I'm turning around pretty much every 10 seconds. And I see her, and we're walking, and we haven't stopped. So I haven't turned around. All of a sudden, we're like halfway out on the second level, and we're about to go out where you look over the edge, which was where my mom told me she wanted a photo. I can't fucking find this bitch. I literally lost Judy Corwin, 70-year-old, in the Coliseum in Rome.
Dude.
And I was like, I'm never going to see her again. Because we can't use our phones.
Dude. And she's worried about losing you. And you becoming
But I'm going to get kidnapped by
abducted.
myself.
Yeah. She's worried about you.
I literally cannot find her. And
Dude, what did you do? That'd be so scary.
Everybody. The only reason we found her is because she had the earpiece. Thank fucking God.
Did the tour guide
No.
ask?
No. I went looking for her. Oh no. And she was meandering through. She had walked at least 2 crowds past us and was trying to find us. And I finally found her.
Oh my gosh.
And she goes, I was trying to take a photo and all of a sudden you guys were gone. And I was like, you're not allowed to take any more photos. If you want a photo, I'm taking it.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done. We're
No
not
more
losing
photos
you
the rest of
again,
the trip.
girl. We're not losing you again.
We had started the day at Pompeii. That's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Rome.
It's a long day if you start there.
Pompeii. It's 85 degrees outside at Pompeii. It's at least 96 when we get to the Coliseum.
Brutal.
We did them both in the same day. And we drove 2.5 hours on a bus. It was the worst day.
That's brutal.
After the Coliseum, we then did boop boop. What is it called? The Forum.
Yeah. The part
Right
the part next to the Coliseum.
You have to go right after.
Yeah.
The Forum's huge.
It's massive.
I did.
You could spend like an hour or two just walking through it.
On a deeper level, while we're not making fun of my mother. I was talking to my boss, Courtney, who has also been to the Forum. And I had this like very visceral feeling when I was there. And I said I felt like I was walking on my own grave. Like
on your own?
Yeah, like it's a very weird feeling because of like, it's just the way that it's out. It's weird. And when I got back, I was talking to her about it. And I was like, yeah, we went to the Pompeii and the Coliseum and the Forum. And she goes, yeah, I felt like I was there. When I was there, I was walking on my own grave. And I go, shut up.
Dude, that's weird.
Exactly how I felt. Because it's just all the ruins down there. You're
creepy.
Literally walking on graves, but you feel like it's creepy.
Yeah, it was a little bit creepy. The day that I
loved it, but it was creepy.
First time I saw it,
shit,
first time I saw it, I don't know that I like have very vivid memories of it, but the second time when I went with my parents, it rained that day. So
That's even
the
worse.
vibes were like it wasn't like rain, like strong rain, but like when we woke up, it was sunny and cloudy and hot. And then we're in the Coliseum and it starts to rain. And so we didn't even have jackets because we knew it was gonna be hot. But luckily, like they had like ponchos. And then at that point we were like in the Coliseum. And then there's like that indoor area where you could like, go in the gift shop and stuff like that. So like you can escape the rain. But yeah, then by the time we're like walking through the forum, it was like just like barely sprinkling. But I feel like the vibes were really interesting because it was kind of like cloudy and overcast and like rain vibes.
I feel like the vibes at the forum were
and
the best.
I don't know. I mean, I think it was like different also because like I had already been there before, so it wasn't really like I was experiencing it for the first time. Like it was like my parents were,
right?
And we did that, like, what's that? The travel dude, Rick Stevens. Is it Rick Stevens? I think it's Rick Stevens. He is like an old school like travel kind of like consultant, and he has an app and it's free. You can just like open the app and they have like tours for like famous like places in the world.
That's awesome.
So we just like did that ourselves instead of like paying a tour guide.
That's the way to
which
do
was really, really cool. Like it was legit. So if anybody like doesn't want to like pay a tour guide and you can like bring AirPods or something, just do it yourself. No, genuinely
don't, because having that shit in your ear the whole time.
I mean, make sure that you can like,
some of it's interesting, but some of it's
make sure that you can like get around places like safely. But like once you're already like at a place, I feel like you can like do that. If you have the patience to do that yourself, then like you can still have like just as an enjoyable experience that way. But the vibes were very different because it was kind of raining. And I will say there's like that one section, the one part of it that I felt like not like freaked me out the most, but the part that was most like overwhelming to see in person was the part of the pillars where you can see that there was like a building and then they had built the building on top of that old building.
That's what I was saying.
Knowing that like where you're walking technically all used to be like underground, and like where you're
on top of
where you're
everything.
walking had been like excavated to the extent that you're walking like basically like a floor under what used to be like where the floor was. Like that was like the trippiest thing to me, was like seeing those pillars on top of the other pillars. I was like, that's freaky. Did you
freaky. Go to Pompeii when you were there?
No. But
I mean, it's very outside of the city.
Yeah. But that funny thing about Pompeii. That shit was like, that was like the most interesting to me. I was like, whoa, that's like, that just proves, you know, that's like it's so trippy. So
Rome in general, I don't think
Wait, is it Pompeii where the volcano was? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pompeii is where there's like fossilized like shit from the volcanic eruption.
Ironically,
that's crazy.
I think.
Well, we're just gonna wrap up
this
now,
is part
y'all.
1.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be back. We're probably gonna split this episode into 2, and then we're gonna have Kami back on the.
We're gonna have a spooky episode in October.
Oh yeah. When I'm done here for October, we'll record again. Maybe we'll just like resume this story a little bit, and then dive into some other fun stuff. Anyway, thank y'all for joining. I hope that you have an amazing week and a fantastic weekend, and stay safe, and
thanks for having me.
I'll see you next week. Bye.